Hi friends, welcome back to 5 Minute Modern. My name is Cindy, and today we're taking a look at the groundbreaking queer photography of artist Chloe Sherman. Not to be confused with fellow photographer Cindy Sherman, who we've covered before, Chloe Sherman was a documentary photographer central to San Francisco's 1990s lesbian scene. Sherman was born in New York in 1969 and recalled that, like many LGBTQ people in the days before the internet, she had to leave home in search of a queer community. At the time, San Francisco had the largest and most progressive queer scene, outpacing other major metropolises like Los Angeles or Sherman's native New York. While the Castro district had been a haven for gay men for decades by that point, Sherman found her way to the burgeoning queer community taking root in the nearby Mission District, where a number of lesbian-owned businesses created a nearly self-contained and women-centered subculture in which LGBTQ people could choose to live and work almost entirely among themselves. Queer bars like Red Dora's Bearded Lady Cafe provided important spaces for socializing and connection. It was at Red Dora's that Sherman met fellow lesbian photographer and future art world icon Catherine Opie. And it was at Red Dora's where Sherman's work was first shown, celebrating the community in its own gathering place. Long before conversations about gender identity entered the mainstream, Sherman's photos reflect a queer scene that was filled with trans people and expansive ideas about gender expression. Artists Harry Dodge and Silas Howard, both trans men, are recurring subjects in Sherman's photos. During the time documented by Sherman, Dodge and Howard would collaborate on the 2001 buddy film By Hook or By Crook, an indie landmark and an important touchstone for trans representation. Writer and performer Anna Joy Springer and writer and musician Lynn Breedlove were also active in the community. Nearly everyone in the scene was doing creative work, ranging from visual arts to music, and I think that energy really comes across in the photos. Sherman recently published a book of her photos from that time titled Renegades. And looking through it, I was reminded of another of my favorite photo books, Nan Goldin's Ballad of Sexual Dependency. The Ballad of Sexual Dependency started as a slideshow at the Watershed 1980 Times Square show. In 1986, it was released as a book, which has since become one of the most important and iconic photo books of all time. Like Sherman, Goldin documented her own circle of friends and acquaintances, often queer folks, living in 1970s New York. Goldin noted that photographers are often thought of as outsiders looking in on a scene, but in her case, she was a part of the community she documented. As Goldin herself wrote, she wasn't crashing the party, it was her party. And the same can certainly be said for Sherman, but I see a striking difference in the mood evoked by these two photographers. Goldin's photos are melancholic and often lonely, highlighting the drug abuse and domestic violence that she and others in her circle faced. Sherman's, on the other hand, are joyful and lively. If there is a punk attitude at play, it's one that revels in its rebelliousness. There's no trace of loneliness. To the contrary, the tight-knit nature of the community is palpable in nearly every photo. I certainly don't want to downplay the importance of Goldin's book, which provided a crucial touchstone for many LGBTQ+ people. In Goldin's words, the book showed that another way of life was possible. But if Goldin's book showed that queer life was possible, Sherman's showed that it was fun. Seeing other people like us can be really important for queer folks. We don't often see ourselves represented in mainstream TV or movies, but in artworks like Sherman's, we're given a life raft. A sign that revolution can be joyful, that living as we want is not just possible, but delightful, and that we can make a home in the world surrounded by people who love us. Thanks so much for watching this one. As always, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you learned something new. Please remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.